Shalom. I want to begin by putting something out there. We're now entering our 4th month of quarantine or semi-quarantine. And I just want to put out there that this is hard. We talked about the blessings, we talked about having gratitude, we talked about having hope, and all those things are really important. But I think it's also important to recognize that as time goes on, this is hard and it takes a toll on us. The toll that it takes was brought to my attention in a book that I read, and it sort of like highlighted to me what's going on in my life and things that I have seen. It's written by Dr. Vivek H. Murthy, who is a former Surgeon General of the United States. When he began his term, he traveled across the United States in the hopes of understanding what are the needs of the people that he would be representing. He did town halls, he did surveys, and he found one very strong theme. And that is that 22% of our population struggling with loneliness. What is loneliness? It's an emotional feeling of being disconnected. It takes on different types of forms. It can be a perception that others are not interested in us, so why bother? It can be a feeling that we are not worthy of love. It can lead us to bad behaviors, causing us to retreat to our screens, to vaping, to drugs, to opioids, to food, which can lead to obesity, diabetes. Loneliness is a void in 3 types of relationships. You can have 1, you can have 2, but if you don't have all 3, we're always going to feel a sense of loneliness if there's a gap. And it's natural. It's part of being a human being. The other thing you shared is that we are designed as human beings to be in community, to work together. So loneliness is a response to something that we expect to have by being human, and for whatever reason, it's not there. 3 types of elements that represent connectivity. 1, intimate. We need intimate relationships in our lives. A close confidant, a parent, or a spouse. 2, relational or social, friends. And 3, collective, which is a network or community who share our sense of purpose and interests. Share with you about loneliness because perhaps one of the greatest purposes of Beth Am is to be a place that provides those things that stand against loneliness, which is community. And we offer community in different ways. And we can't fix every problem. We can't be all 3 of those relationships, but we can try, and we can definitely help. This week, I want to share with you 2 ways that we can help. And it comes from my portfolio of working with our children. So I want to take a moment and I'm going to speak to our families that have children that are aged kindergarten and 12th grade next year. Our JLC program and our Sabra Hebrew High will return. They will be robust. They will be meaningful. And they will provide multiple ways for your children to come together. If your children come to our campus, we are going to make sure we devote class time to children getting to know each other and spending time with each other. We are going to also devote time to class relationship building, teamwork. And if your children are uncomfortable coming to class and they'd like to remain in our virtual model, we will of course offer both tracks. And in our virtual model, we will use Zoom and we are going to train our teachers in games and group building activities that can be done virtually. Because we are here to solve the real challenge of loneliness. JLC and Sabra are just 2 programs that represent that we at Beth Am are not going to allow you to feel alone. You know, it's very interesting. There's many people of Israel, but there's only one God. And our rabbis believe that God created the world, because it's only one God. God was alone, and God sought partnership. So God created humanity, and God wanted more partnership, so he developed the people of Israel. And I share with you this story because it validates and it reminds us and it teaches us that community is not just a nice thing, something that we should do because it feels good. But when we come together in ways like JLC, in ways like Sabra, and by the way, this Friday, we plan to do our first live Campfire Shabbat service with Rabbi Kornberg and F. When we do these things, we are working to fulfill the purpose for why we are created. So join us, sign up, and let's be one together. Talk to you all soon.